The cold wind sliced through the streets of suburban Ohio as 16-year-old Hannah Parker trudged down the cracked pavement, her oversized denim jacket hanging loosely from her small frame. The jacket was old, frayed at the edges, its faded blue fabric marked with faint stains from countless chores, trips to the store, and long afternoons spent volunteering at the community center. Hannah kept her hood up, trying to hide from the world, trying to make herself invisible. But invisibility was a hard thing to hold on to when a pack of rowdy bikers roared past, their laughter echoing off the brick walls. She froze as the sound of mockery followed her. They weren't looking at her just because she walked alone. They were looking at the jacket. They snorted, pointed, and jeered at its worn sleeves, the patches she had sewn on as a child peeling slightly from age. If you believe in kindness and second chances, pause this story for a moment. Hit like, share it with someone who needs a reminder, and subscribe. You won't want to miss the rest of Hannah's journey. Hannah had learned early that the world could be cruel to those who didn't fit a certain image. She was small for her age, painfully shy, and painfully aware of how her classmates and strangers alike judged her. The jacket had been a gift from her grandfather, a man who had taught her everything from fixing old cars to baking chocolate chip cookies. Each patch on it had a story. A faded American flag for her first 4th of July parade, a stitched heart for her younger sister's birthday, a tiny silver cross for the day she was confirmed in her local church. To anyone else, it might have looked like just an old beaten-up jacket. To Hannah, it was armor, a testament to survival and love. That evening, as she walked home from school, the roar of motorcycles grew louder. The bikers slowed to a stop nearby, their chrome gleaming under the pale streetlights. Hannah's heart pounded, and she kept her eyes fixed on the cracked pavement, hoping they would ride away. One of them, a man with a scar across his cheek and a leather vest that smelled faintly of smoke and gasoline, leaned over his bike and laughed, pointing directly at her. The others joined in, a chorus of mockery that made her cheeks burn. She shrank further into her jacket, wishing she could disappear completely. But then, something caught their attention. One of the bikers leaned closer, squinting at a small patch on Hannah's jacket, something silver glinting faintly in the dim light. It was the cross her grandfather had sewn onto the fabric, surrounded by tiny stitched wings. The laughter faltered, eyes widened, whispers passed among the group. "Wait, that's a blood donor patch," one of them muttered, recognition flickering across his rugged face. Another nodded slowly, the rough laughter replaced with a sort of reverent silence. Hannah didn't understand at first. She had volunteered for the Red Cross every summer since she was 12. She had donated blood countless times, driven by the memory of her older brother's battle with leukemia, a battle he had lost when she was 10. Each patch on her jacket marked a milestone, a life saved, a life she had touched in some small, significant way. The bikers, known around town for their tough demeanor, suddenly weren't laughing anymore. They were looking at her with a mix of awe and respect, and Hannah felt a strange warmth rise in her chest. For once, she wasn't invisible. One of the bikers, the one with the scarred cheek, approached cautiously, his large boots crunching on the gravel. He extended a hand, not in mockery, but in genuine acknowledgement. "That's impressive," he said simply, nodding toward her jacket. Hannah's throat tightened. She wasn't used to hearing praise, especially not from strangers who had moments ago been mocking her. Her hands shook slightly as she grasped his calloused fingers. "Thank you," she whispered, barely audible over the wind. In that instant, something shifted. The fear and shame that had weighed on her shoulders for years began to lift, replaced by a quiet, steady pride. She realized that her acts of kindness, however small they seemed, had an impact. They mattered. Even in a world that often mocked or overlooked those who tried to do good, there was recognition. There were moments when the right thing, choosing compassion over fear, could speak louder than words, louder than ridicule, louder than the roar of a motorcycle. As the bikers mounted their bikes and revved their engines, ready to leave, one of them called back, "Keep saving lives, kid. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise." Hannah watched them ride away, their laughter replaced by the soft hum of engines fading into the night. She felt tears prick her eyes, not of sadness but of relief and hope. She touched the cross on her jacket and whispered a quiet prayer of thanks. thinking of her grandfather, of her brother, of the lives she had touched. From that night onward, Hannah walked with a different kind of confidence. The jacket was still worn and faded, the patches slightly frayed at the edges, but it now carried a new weight, a testament to courage, resilience, and the quiet power of goodness. At school, the whispers that once made her shrink seemed distant. Some classmates still noticed the jacket, but now their looks were often curious rather than cruel. And whenever she felt doubt creeping in, she remembered the bikers' unexpected respect, their acknowledgement of the life-saving work she had quietly done. It was a reminder that sometimes the world notices even the smallest acts of bravery, and when it does, it can change hearts. Life didn't suddenly become easy. Hannah still faced days of loneliness and misunderstanding. She still struggled with her insecurities and worries about being enough, but now she carried with her a story that gave her strength. Every patch, every thread, every worn corner of that denim jacket was proof that kindness could cut through even the thickest armor of mockery and prejudice. It reminded her that while fear and judgment existed in the world, so did compassion, recognition, and second chances. And maybe, she thought, the world was just waiting for someone brave enough to wear their heart on their sleeve. Before the story ends, I want to ask you, if this story touched your heart, if you felt Hannah's courage and the power of small acts of kindness, please hit like, share this video with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel. And leave a comment below about a moment where kindness changed your life. Your stories inspire others too. Hannah never forgot that night, the night when a pack of bikers laughed at her jacket and then paused, stunned, by the patch that told a story bigger than herself. It was a reminder that courage often looks quiet, and heroism often comes in small, overlooked gestures. And for everyone who witnessed it, even if only in memory, it left a lasting echo, that even in a world full of judgment, acts of love and bravery shine through.